Hey everybody, welcome to day 17 of the Spark Change Challenge. And what's been amazing so far over the last 17 days is how often the theme or the topic for that day ends up being prescient when it comes to what's going on for me. So today's theme is physical health and body care, and I'm not well. So I mean, irony of ironies, really. So this is going to be a fairly short video, but I just thought it was a good opportunity to talk about, you know, the physical health and body care part when your physical health and body care isn't so great to start with. So as most of you know, I have a bunch of health problems and immune mediated issues, and um, I have what I call flares of these issues. And for those who are interested and want to look up my the the one that causes me the most problems is something called relapsing polychondritis, and it's a pain in the neck. I only got over a flare like a couple of weeks ago, and it would seem that I'm heading back into another one, which is annoying because usually I get a couple of months between them. But I do know that things have been a bit stressful of late with work and all of that kind of thing. I have been trying to implement some of these changes, and anytime you rock the boat too severely, you do end up risking that yes, you might flare up. Well, in my case, but I thought it was a good chance to talk about how to manage that because um, I mean a lot of therapists and healthcare workers that I know deal with their own health stuff on a regular basis. It's quite common, but also for your clients as well. I've been excuse me. I've been navigating this for quite a while now, and what I've found really useful for me is something that I've kind of adapted over the years that seems to work well for me, work well for the people that I live with, and has worked well for a lot of clients. So when you're talking about physical health and well-being, whether we're talking about or a chronic condition that impacts those things, whether we're talking about chronic pain or a chronic illness, we're talking about a, an extra an extra add-on to the mental load of normal life. Having to think through things like, um, if I do this video, am I going to wipe myself out for the rest of the night? If I take the dog for a walk, am I going to have enough energy left to go to work? If I go to work, am I going to have enough energy left to catch up with friends on the weekend? Like, there's a lot of balancing that has to go on, and they can. Sorry, so you're right there, so you good? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Sophie wanted a little bit of attention apparently. Um, there's a obviously a lot of emotion that goes into some of those decisions. Um, I've had to miss people's weddings. I've had to miss funerals, and I've had to make really hard decisions sometimes about where to put that energy that I do have, particularly when I'm actually having a flare and things are not great. So to kind of um, counter that and make it a little bit easier, and for those around me, because one of the things that is really difficult with a chronic illness is when someone asks how you're going. Oftentimes that's not great, and you don't want to shut out the people closest to you. So if a friend asks how am I going and I'm having a really bad week and I haven't been able to get out of bed, I want to tell them, but I also don't want to dwell on the negativity of the situation or the negative aspects of the situation that I can't really do anything about. If I was in bed all week with COVID, then that's news. That's something different. That's something interesting. Um, if I'm in bed all week with a flare, well, that's kind of normal. That's status quo. So I use a numerical system, which might sound reductionist, but works really well for me and for a lot of my clients and a lot of people that I know. And it takes some of the emotion out of the decision making. If you can be reasonable enough with yourself when it comes to giving yourself the score. So, health wise, I'd say 0 is death, 10 is jumping out of my skin with energy and excitement and feeling amazing, feeling as good as ever. Um, I don't get too many tens these days, unfortunately, but that's okay because it's helped me to realize that for me, an 8 is like my normal. Like an 8 is things are going well. I'm able to do everything that I want to be doing. Like yeah, 8 is kind of like my new 10. Um, and it also means that if I'm having a bad day and I'm honest about it, I can say, so today's probably like a 5. And if I'm at a 5, I can still do stuff like this. I can still, um, participate in a meeting at work. I can still get some emails sent and done. Once we get into like the 4s, then I need to really start. So I don't see clients when I'm at a 5 because I don't have the mental capacity or the energy to do that justice. But I can. But something like this is okay. This is okay at a 5. If I was at a 4, I wouldn't have done this tonight. I would have said nope. That's going to be too much. If I'm at a 3, I go to bed and so I've got this graded system, which also means taking the emotion out of the decision making when it comes to okay, well, what do I have to cancel? What do I have to adapt or amend today to make this an okay day? Um, but also, if I want to communicate with my husband or with friends, so that they know that because a 5 is nothing to worry about, but if they if we were planning to go to the movies or something or other like that, they know that a 5 means I'm not going to go to the movies. Um, so yeah, that's dealing with physical health and body care when that physical health and body care is a bit and like I said, I hope this is a useful sort of um, tool or resource for you. If you're not familiar, if you haven't done much work with chronic health stuff or chronic conditions, definitely check out the Spoonies page. Just Google the spoon theory, and it does a really nice job of explaining this to the normies and the ones who don't have to who don't have to plan out their week based on how many activities and how many outings and all of that sort of stuff. Um, really useful website, really useful information on there. But otherwise, I hope your physical health and body care is doing well today. I'm going to look after my physical health and body care now by finishing up, sending this off, and trying to take it easy tonight. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to talking to you tomorrow night when we'll be back on achievement and accomplishment. And if I have managed to rest up and take care of myself, that will be a big achievement and accomplishment. Have a good evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow.